Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Joy FA. In this video I did the basic knitting for bead making. If you're a beginner in bead making and then you don't know what to do, how to go about it, you love making beads, you love seeing bead, but then you don't know how to begin, then this video is for you. This is beginners friendly. This is how to make a basic mat. You need a mat to make any design you want to make. So if you are that person and you stumble on this channel, you need to watch this video to the end. Let's get right into it. As a beginner in bead making, you need three major items while planning to go into bead making or while in bead making. You need your scissors, you need your bead, of course, which is like your major material, and then you need your fishing line. We work basically with two sizes of fishing line, the 0.60 millimeter or 0.70 millimeter, depending on the size of bead that you are using. Some beads come with a very large opening, like the hole where you slot the thread, while some come with very tiny holes. So it depends on what you are making and the bead you are working with. That's what determines the size of rope you use. Some persons make use of size 50, which is 0.50 millimeter. It still depends on the size of your bead. So between 50 to 70 you can actually work with them. So on your rope, the first thing you do, you cut out your rope, string in 4 beads. We work with 4 beads. Your beads must be a pair of 4 to create a circle. So you string your 4 beads. On the last bead you stringed, you use your next rope, your second rope, to pass through it, creating an ox sign, XYZ. The X sign, that's how to cross. If you've watched my previous video, I did a repetition on how to cross. It is very easy. So while working on your bead, you work with both hands. So when you cut out your rope usually have 2 edges. You hold one on your left hand and one on your right hand. So that's how you work. You try to make your bead, your rope, as equal as possible while you work. So while you are working, one don't get longer than the other. So you the first step is you string 4 ropes and cross with the last one you strung, so making it a pair of 4 beads, creating a circle. Then now you go ahead for your step 2. You string 1 bead on your left rope, string another bead on your right rope, making it 1 then put in 1 bead in either of the rope and just cross with it. You are going to repeat this stage 2 repeatedly until you get to your required length. On this tutorial, I actually worked with 5 lengths. I created in the circle 4, then I used the 5th one to turn. So in basic bead making, there's what we call turning, there's what we call connecting. The turning is you have gotten to your length, you have to reverse back and build. So that is what turning is. So as we go further, you are going to understand this whole thing. So all you need to repeat size step 2 until you get to your required length. So what I did again, after putting my 4 strands, I used the last one to cross. I've told you what crossing is. Then I put in 1 on my left, 1 on my right. I put in 1 in any of the hand and cross with that particular one, meaning I'm working with 3 beads now, no longer 4. The very first bead is always in 4. Then you continue in 3 3 3 until you get to your length, which is stage 2. Once you cross, you stop using 3 because now you are connecting with an existing bead. Thereby, anywhere you connect, instead of using 3 beads, you connect 1 and then work with 2, making it 3 2. So that's how beading is. Beading is actually fun. It's very fun. So I told you before, I worked with 5 lengths. I work with 5 circles. I created my the length of my bead in 5 loops, in 5 circles. So to get 5 circles, you have to build the number before the size you want. I wanted to stop at 5, so I built to 4. I used that 5 to turn. Then after turning, I started connecting and I started going back. So that's how you grow. So let's just watch while we continue. So at this stage, I've actually built my 4th layer or my fourth circle, and I told you before I used 5, so I have to turn now. So on either of the bead, you string in 3 beads again. Now on one hand, before we were putting one bead on left, one bead on right, then we will now put a new bead and cross with it. But now you pick one of your rope, string in 3 beads inside just that one. Then the other rope that you did not put anything, use it to cross the last bead you strung in this your rope of 3 beads. It is this easy. As I said earlier, this is actually the simplest video you will see on the internet right now. After stringing your 3 beads, use the last bead to cross, and when you drag the whole rope, you'll notice that your whole rope or your work is no longer facing up as it was facing before. It's now facing side. It means that you have turned. This is what we call turning. And while you are at it, you will see that one of your rope is facing inside your bead, while the other one is facing outside your work entirely. So on the rope facing outside, which is like outside the bead, you are going to string 3 ropes again. If you want to understand this thing, just understand that every step you make has to have 4 beads. So when you make mistake, you can easily detect. It is normal to make mistakes. So if we tell you we don't make mistake, we are lying. So it is normal. When you make mistake, all you have to do, just loosen it, go back and repeat and redo it. So on that rope facing outside your beading work, just string 3 beads again. Use the empty rope, which is the other rope now, to cross again. And this time around, when you drag, you will notice that you are now facing down, as if you are going down back to where you came from. Beading is fun, beading is beautiful, because there's this logic and magic that just happens, and it makes the whole process exciting. So at this stage, I've already turned back. So if you notice, I have 4 beads on my edges, the edges of my work. That is my connecting bead. I'm going to string my rope that is close to all the beads into the next bead close to me, which is my connecting bead right now. I'm going to string, just watch the way I do, because I actually made it as easy and as visible as possible. There's one bead facing outside your bead, while there's one facing the whole of the beads. On the bead that is facing the whole of your bead is your connecting bead, while the one facing outside your work is the bead you have to keep adding the twos. So on that bead that is alone, the rope that is alone, you are going to put in 2 beads now. Use that bead the rope you used to connect before, to just cross with the last bead you strung, and then you go again. You drag down and you see that there is a connection there, always a connection of 4 beads. So you just drag and you notice that you have created 4 beads, or a circle entirely. Then you arrange your rope again. I'm working with a long rope, so the thing looks scattered somehow. That's how it is. That's why you have to keep dragging, you have to keep arranging until you finish your bead. So as a starter, you can actually start with a very short bead, but why I use a very long rope. Why I use long rope is because I don't want it to finish on time, and then I want my work to have gone to a very far extent before I add a new rope. So as I said earlier, the rope that is close to your beading work, that's what you use for your connecting rope. And the one that is facing outside, that's what you use as your working rope. It is called a working rope and a connecting rope. So as usual, you are going to connect again. Since you are done with this, the next bead close to your work, that is at the edge, our edge bead is our connecting bead. I've worked on one, I have 3 left, so I've connected again, meaning after this one I have just 2 left. I have connected with my connecting rope, and now I'll go ahead with my working rope. I'll put in 2 beads, I'll cross with the last bead. Yes, this is how it's going to be. I told you again, beading is fun. I might not be explaining it or simplifying it as you ought to understand, but then please, if you watch this video to the end, you are going to understand what I'm doing. Don't forget to click on your subscription button and put on your notification bell. I'm going to be dropping a lot of beading DIYs, a whole lot of beading DIYs. I'm on a project of 100 bags, and by the grace of God, I'm going to be uploading every video of the bags I make. So as I'm making my work, I'm filming it and I'm teaching us as well. So we are going to be learning from each other in this season. So as usual, you're going to continue the same process all through till you get to the end, and then you turn again as usual. That's what you will do until you get to your required length or to your required wideness. If you notice the bead making, you will notice that in the first row is different from the second row. So the first row was a bead of 4 we cross, then we started putting one on both rope, then we use another one to cross all through till we got to our length, then we turned. After turning, we started connecting, and then we started building. So you continue connecting and building until you get to the very last connection. When you get to your last connection on the rope facing outside, instead of putting, because now you are working with connecting rope, you are always connected to 2 ropes. That's why you are adding 2 to get the bead of 4, because 2 plus 2 is 4. So as at when we had just 1 rope, we were using 3 beads to create 4. So now we have 2 connecting ropes, so we are needing 2 beads to create 4. When you get to the last bead, you on the rope facing outside, you string in 2 beads and then you cross. It automatically turns you to your side. Then on the rope facing outside again, you will string 3 beads and you turn. It faces you back downwards, facing your work again, and then you begin to continue and build again. It is this easy. If you watch this video, as I said earlier, watch it and watch it attentively, you are going to understand, because it is self-explanatory. I just decided to do a voiceover over it because I think it's easier for you to understand it that way. So I just connected to the last bead right now, and on my rope that is facing outside, I'm going to string in 2 beads, and then I will cross, and automatically it turns me to my side. And then on that same rope facing outside, I'll put in 3 beads, and then I will turn. It will turn me back facing my work again, so I can grow another layer. So this is in layer. I actually did a 5 by 5 layer. I intend to make a purse out of it, but then I stopped because I felt like, oh, this bead is looking too plain. I need to embellish it. I need to design it. That's why I stopped. So on my next video, I'm going to be dropping a video of how I made my beautiful purse using this same bead but with a touch of embellishment. So enjoy this video to the end, and if you are going to be trying this out, please don't forget to comment on my comment in the comment section. If you've tried it out, do well to send us videos, and then if you enjoy my videos and you are benefiting from it, please just give us a thumbs up. Thank you, and thanks for watching this video. On one of my previous videos, I did a video on how you can tie and end your rope. So at this point, I'm actually going round my beads of 4 to, so that I want the our rope are usually on opposite side. In one bead, they are facing opposite side, so you have to walk your rope round your 4 so it can meet the second rope, and then you just tie firmly and cut off.